threat. So this gives me some uneasiness because we've seen a lot of games go to the later stages where the carries have had to be the one to pick up the damage. And right now, when you take a look at Neon, they've got the steroid, they've got the team fight, you've got the stuns, the tower push. They might be lacking some catch potential. Like it's a bit rough. Ogre, Snapfire, kind of immobile, so the supports aren't going to offer you a lot of kill threat on the side lane. So maybe that's where Execration can look to penalize the Neon draft at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Neon are happy with. I was about to say they need like. If the Terrorblade was available, I feel like they would have picked that instead. But they just need something that's capable of doing an insane amount of damage later on. The question is it going to be able to get to that stage? And hopefully they're going to be banning out this Phantom Lancer as well. You know, something that can get out of the arena, something that can get out of the cogs, something that is able to build Diffusal Blade and deal with the Medusa. So I feel like that'd be a big misstep if Execration leave that in the pool. Probably won't be the case. But yeah, I feel like Neon could just kind of set up behind this Dragon Knight, right? Like you've got the Bloodlust that you could pop onto him and then kind of look to counter initiate with the use of that Ravage, with the Mortimer's Kisses. Ogre Magi might be, able to roam around a little bit and because you are inherently tanky, maybe spot out a few people before they even make the initiation onto the Dragon Knight. But I don't think you're overly concerned, right? Sure, you're on a little bit of a clock with this Medusa, but I feel like you're just going to be able to get so many objectives taken in that time before you're really all that concerned about Medusa.
I'm looking for some late game win condition for Neon. This Palace hero to be able to be a menace throughout the later stages. And heroes that I want at least is a ranged hero that can play the distance away from the Dusa. I mean,
how often is this Alina position 4 and a Clockwork 5? Because how often are you actually leaving your position? It's probably 4, right? Until the very end of the draft with Execration. If you've got the Medusa.
If it's Alina 4, I'm on Neon. I feel like this hero is not a 4 right now.
Well, how often do you leave like your position 4 or 5 until the very end? Like, I feel like this Clockwork does need some sort of way to catch and get it on the backlines, and I feel like you might be a little bit too squishy as that 5. So maybe it is the position 4 and it's just got the Clockwork that's kind of protecting the Dusa a little bit in lane. I wouldn't hate that, but yeah, it feels a little wonky, this Execration draft, to be honest.
Wow, yeah, so they're on the same board as well. I want the clock to be a 5 to play with Dusa, like you said. And I mean, Lina Mars is a strong lane. Don't get me wrong, it is a strong lane, double stun, high kill potential at level 2. I feel like this is a hero that is only played position 2 right now. Like, that does not seem like there's a lot of flexibility.
No PL ban?
Oh boy. Maybe.
I feel like it's very good against Clock, Mars, and Dusa. Especially if they're thinking this Lina is a support as well, right? Like, you're not going to have the potential to, sit there in your BKB, burst through all of the illusions with your spells. You're just a sitting duck.
5 seconds remaining.
Is there something I'm missing? maybe not wanting the Bloodlust to reveal the real one. I don't know.
I don't think PL is the greatest hero with like a minus armor strats or with a Bloodlust, because you'll find the real one. Like, if we're going down that route, there's definitely more ideal carries to combine together with all the steroids you have. But it does look like a very good Phantom Lancer game.
Team pick.
Okay, no, I don't hate this either. Again, something that can get very aggressive in the lane. You can build the Diffusal on the Slark. There's absolutely nothing wrong with doing that, even in this this weird sort of meta where you want to be scaling a bit with a Slark, but it's such a strong lane. Ogre Magi plus Slark, you can get kills on kills on kills on kills. Yep. And I'm not sure if either one is going to want to go the Orb of Venom. I feel like just the Ignite and the Pounce is going to be plenty to be able to pick up kills. Ogre, I feel, does kind of need a little bit more of that mana regen, like Ring of Basilius can be nice, even just if you were wanting to go into, let's say, an Urn. Like, this is a really good Vessel game against Medusa, right? Because Spirit Vessel is based off of current HP that you've got, and 99% of the time when you're in an engagement, Medusa is going to have 100% HP, and you're going to be just burning so much of that mana because of the damage just being amped up like that. And Medusa wants to build stats as well, so it's even more effective.
Choose your hero.
So go for a 4 with a break, some save potential as well. Doesn't really deal with the Slark too much, unless you're purging throughout the fights. But is this 24th pick that gives you a lot of confidence for Execration's draft?
It's not the wow pick, right? Like, sure, it does give you some kind of way to disengage whoever's getting gone on by Palace and UK. I mean, in the lane, it's going to be quite nice, right? You need to use it defensively, of course, if you're just locked in place. Tino, even though he's great on the Mars, I feel like he'll have a rough one in this game. And well, BDZ, they might just switch around and make him the target of a lot of the aggression that Palace and UK are looking to put on. So I think I'm going to go with Neon for this one. The Shadow Demon isn't any kind of like wow that I'm looking to see here coming through. It does help in the lane. It does help when you're pushing with the Medusa. Hell, even just looking to disrupt the Dragon Knight when he's in his Elder Dragon form and try and, you know, turn around a lot of the aggression onto him. But I just feel like these lanes are going to go just fine for Neon.
Yeah, I'm in agreement as well. I like the Neon draft. For reasons we brought up previously, I just feel like you have a bunch of ways to enable Slark, and he's got a really solid one-on-one matchup versus the Dusa. The Mars lane should be pretty strong as well. We have seen Mars and Shadow Demon though have very good lanes together. It's a banishment, easy setup for the spear. You know, maybe the damage could be a little bit too much for Palace to deal with if Execration hit a faster level 2.
Sure, but I feel like Neon are the ones that are looking to get aggressive, you know? Like, it feels much more of a defensive tool in this lane with the disruption. I would agree in, like, 95% of lanes, right? With exactly what you said. But Ogre Slark is incredibly strong.
Yeah, that is. It's going to be difficult for them to deal with all the aggressive factors coming out from them, but...
Prepare for battle.
How do we feel then about the safe lane for Execration? You know, we mid Lena DK feel like it's going to be super even, but what about the Dusa along with the Clockwork versus the Tide and the Snapfire?
I feel like RR is going to do a good job at protecting Marb and making sure he's not going to be going down too many times in this lane, but it's almost certainly, in my eyes, going to be at the cost of his own life. You know, just the turnaround potential that a Tide Snapfire has. Clockwork needs to be out there kind of bullying them away from the Dusa, trying to prevent the deniers and last hits that they're able to get. And, you know, if you take one misstep, then you're just done for.
You're going to need to have a decent amount of armor for this lane as well. I mean, Clock starting with 3. Dusa being an agi hero has got a little bit more, especially with the help of the item build that she's gone for. But, yeah, Lil Shredder, he's got the Blightstone as well, already Medallion queued up. So, we'll see how much harassment. I really like Neon's lane. I feel like they could win both the sides, and mid DK versus Lena should be...
It'll do fine.
Yeah, like you're going to get a lot of CS there. You're going to do 100% fine. Now, the one question comes down to how can Neon utilize his first Elder Dragon form and how they can utilize the first Catapult wave as well. I'm always have been so impressed with like the China region when these two supports link to mid with that timing, get a kill, take the tower. It opens up the map so much you can just really start to control the early game pace. So I want to see Neon play very, very well with my main guy's Dragon Knight.
Especially when you've got an Ogre Magi, right? Like, on top of that, I think it is insane if you don't get a single point in Bloodlust, at least by level 4. You know, and he should have that around the time that the DK is looking to push with that Elder Dragon form. It's just such a value point, right? 30 attack speed, an extra 7% movement speed for 50 mana. Like, it's nuts. They might even look to go it in the lane, right? Slark is one of the best heroes to possibly take advantage of that.
Yeah, I wonder if he does go for it at the second level just for that factor. So it can enable Palos with his trading potential. Oh. We'll see how this lane's going to end up faring. Level 1, just try and get the creep equilibrium from either side. At least with these camps, small and hard camp, are both blocked at the moment.
UK has been doing a couple of good things already with the use of the Ignite. It hits onto 2 heroes. He's making sure that the only 2 heroes it could possibly hit are BDZ and Tino, just by his positioning, trying to keep as far away from the creep wave as possible so as not to push it. So doing a decent amount of harass. Yeah, there you go. He did it again. So the randomness, not quite so random anymore. He's in that little bit of trouble that I was talking about, though, on the top side, as well as Marb. You know, they've taken a good amount of harass already just because of the strength of this Blightstone, plus Little Shredder, plus Gush lane. Yeah, it makes me question if they should go that magic stick, you know, at level 1. I feel like you know exactly what Tide Snap wants to do. So a Ring of Protection level 1 probably would have been a bit of a better choice, considering, you know, you're not going to be taking those anchor smashes quite so early.
Yeah, I feel like this is going to be difficult for them as well to secure range CS. I mean, Deucer at the early stages with Mystic Snake sometimes isn't the most damage, and I mean Tide and Snapfire could just double deny, so it's going to be eyes on how Enryu puts his body just to kind of pressure them out. But we're already seeing they've got this level 2 advantage, so they'll pounce instantly as RR, one more little right click from Hustlers, Snapfire will pick up first blood. And we're speaking a lot of props to Hustler throughout the group stages, and just before we got underway here with game 1, saying that, you know, he's been a big reason of why Neon have had their success when they have.
Gotta be careful here on UK though. Getting the poison stacked up onto him, although the turnaround potential is always there.
Yeah,
body blocks actually, the team body blocks.
They need that pounce connection. Tino should be okay. The Ignite, only level 1's not going to tick him out, but he doesn't have any more resources till the Kari comes out. Never mind. So it's got a Self from BDZ. What a brother. Set of Tangos and a Soul Ring as well. So yeah, a lot of items freshly delivered there for the Mars. That would have been quite handy for that engagement.
Yeah, but you know the pounce missed as well. Yeah, Tino. Is he dead yet? He's got the Soul Ring, I suppose. But they could just look to continue the aggression here. I suppose being a little bit scared with the disruption. But yeah, Tino's getting a lot more out of this lane than I was expecting. You know, I was expecting a dead hero. Doesn't matter which one, but just for Palace to have that little bit of a net worth lead because of a kill super early on.
That's mine.
Tino
Do amp up the damage a lot though when you get level 3 on the Ogre Magi. The Ignite, you know, increasing its damage by 50% and an extra second duration. It's pretty nutty.
We'll see if they can get this creep equilibrium back in their favor. Again, I mean, no camps available. Tino's going to make sure he doesn't drag the creeps under the tower as well. So really nice play here from the Mars. And they're well aware that if we can just hold the at least lane control in our favor, then it's going to get very difficult for how Neon want to play this, because they just kind of want this skirmish, like allow the Slark to build up the essence, and then the second time around, then we try and find the kill. But it's a lot more difficult now with how the creeps are positioning.
It is, and not great movement coming out from Neon, if I'm totally honest. I wonder what the lines of communication are like, because, you know, Ogre Magi, he rotates through, he's not able to block up the camp. He also gets the bottom water rune taken away from him because BDZ was in place to be able to stop that from happening. I don't mind that aspect of it, but the issue is that Mamang Daya, he's getting bullied out of this lane a little bit, and he wasn't in position to secure the top water rune, so Bob ends up denying it away from him instead.
And with Lina having 8 denies, this might just slow down the Elder Dragon form by maybe 15 seconds, which could give Lina an opportunity to kill off the catapult before any rotation. So definitely having a solid lane here overall from Bob.
With that rotation through as well from UK that, you know, I was talking about, is very important for him to hit up onto that level 4 if he can, just for the 1 point in the Bloodlust. Have to be a little bit careful here. Palace might end up getting the kill.
He's going to try and use all his force mobility here to push him back, but that is not enough as Palos, first essence of the game. And
ended up pushing back UK instead of Palace, which I'm a little bit worried about why he would look to do that. You know, the damage was coming through. Sure, you might get the stun, but it's a level 1 stun, no multicast, and it's only going to be doing 70 damage. So 1.5 seconds, he was almost under his tower anyway. I think he probably would have lived if he just turned around and speared Slark instead. Wonder if Mamang Daya is, like, he's pushing this lane out a little bit, but I wonder if it might even just be better to not do that, just to make sure that, you know, you give time for the rotations to come through from the rest of your team. Got nearly level 6 picked up. Ogre Magi almost level 4. But he's just looking to prioritize a little bit more on stopping this stack. He'll take away the bounty rune. Okay.
Selfish.
Not looking awful.
Denied.
there's a regen dumper. If they don't have any vision
Could be another
of
dead
that.
Tino. Like, you have to get something, right? Like, if you're not getting this mid-tower push with the Bloodlust, you got to kill Mars again. And Tino, he's playing in the trees a little bit, but he should be dead.
Does have speed to at least make it a little bit annoying here. UK posturing in front of the Slark, so Tino can't even get the spear. Won't even attempt at the moment. Pounce away, but doesn't find the connection as Pelos just very difficult to get it on the mark here in the tree line like that.
But again, like, Mamang Daya, he's pushing the lane a little bit too fast. He's still kept the siege creep alive, but like he was deliberately right-clicking creeps underneath the tower just to push it a little bit faster. If he just delayed it 5 seconds, that creep wave would have connected. The siege creep would have been hitting these creeps instead. They're going to go for a kill onto Bob anyway, but will they have the damage for this? I don't know if they will.
They're going to be cautious how deep they dive as well. Bob having the Laguna Blade and BDZ swing on over. Even Tino looking to get involved as well, but Mamang Diet, they still get the speed connection on the low ground, and that'll cost the Dragon Knight his life. So, very missed timing here from Radiant, not using the Elder Dragon form to perfection, also costing the DK his first death.
Eventually, UK does get that level 4, so he's got the Bloodlust now, but again, yep, like you said, they've missed the timing. So, no siege creep used, no tower gone, no tower damaged at all, actually. And yeah, this is a big window now for Execration to have that bit of extra control, to be able to have the Deuce potentially farm up a little bit here. Is that Sentry Ward in range? Yes, it is. So BDZ is just going to continue his journey to stack up this triangle camp area. It's not like the Radiant heroes are that great at being able to steal it away either, right? Like, it's basically only Tidehunter that could look to come here prior to DK hitting level 12 and take away a lot of these creeps.
I mean, I think you do that with First Ravage, honestly. You just come on down, make sure you hold the ultimate. Like, yes, it's going to kind of take you away from top, which is kind of the place you want to be to put pressure on the tower, but that's a big enough objective in itself to just slow the Medusa down, who, you know, has had a solid lane, level 7 on Mob, just behind the net worth of Palos. So yeah, Mum's pretty happy at the moment, and especially with all the stacks back in the jungle that she'll get some more catch up on.
I wish we could alt left click the buffs. I feel like the Arcane Rune will just have enough time for the Elder Dragon form to be used here. Again, you've got the Bloodlust on UK. If he wants to put it onto Mamang Dai, he's like, get back here. But he's actually not even going to use the Elder Dragon form. Okay, so not wanting to take advantage of the cooldown reduction.
Puny DK. You don't deserve no Bloodlust. Okay, he doesn't want to waste the mana.
I guess. Well, they're looking to maybe make a rotation through this top lane. Mamang Dai, I want to see him connect here, because if you've got this many people rotating through, you got to take a tower so that it enables you to then rotate through to the triangle. Take away the safe space for Marb.
Posturing aggressively with the Ravage. He might just be forced to use it. UK a little bit too far behind here.
Where's the rest of the
boys really love to not have to drop the ultimate, but Enryu forced to do so, and the TPs are way too late. I mean, they had so much time to react there as Neon. I mean, that was about 15 seconds at least. Meanwhile, mid lane, I mean, DK. You've got 3 heroes up top.
You want to have a quick look at the levels? You want to have a look at the levels between Bob and Mamang Dai right now?
Yeah, Bob is... he did just take the hard stack, which was, I think, a triple, maybe quad. So that's going to be a lot of experience there. But yeah, he's done exceptionally well. That's Alina. You don't really lose lanes, and on Dire, they're looking to contest top. They know the Ravage is on cooldown. Tino has this ultimate to play with. Or do they want to target first? He's actually just going to drop the ulti. Hustler neutralized from the fight. And Ryu's not going to be an easy target as he just TPs straight away to a Veil. And UK is going to go for the same fate as well. And he's out.
Easy game for an Ogre match. It's just so strong, man. An intelligence hero with that kind of strength gain, 3.3 per level, 33 starting strength, and, you know, nutty armor as well. Can't discount that.
Get out of here.
And you have to be a little bit worried for Neon, you know? You've been able to avoid losing your towers against a DK Ogre Magi lane. Lineup. You haven't lost any objectives. You are underleveled now on Mamang Dai. You haven't used the Elder Dragon form effectively for the start of the game for the first 2 times. And I know how much you hated it when Fearless wasn't able to get that usage out of it in the Motivate Trust against Enigma Galaxy game. Top side looks like it is where they're looking to put the pressure on, but it feels a little late, you know, 11 minutes. Marb hasn't died, right? So he's been able to go back towards the jungle because of a lot of these engagements. Well, yeah, but that was because of a Ravage, like, right next to the tier 2 tower, and probably shouldn't have happened if the TP rotations came through a little faster. So what I'm saying is, like, he should have been bullied out of this lane a little bit sooner so that he could have to go back towards the triangle. But he's had the luxury of being able to take away the jungle, to share the farm with Bob. It does feel like one of these games
where... Did they get the kill? They've got no Rabbit kisses. BDZ nearby, however, so they won't have it cancel for the ultimate. But now Mar back to the safety of the T2 tower. Is it the safety? Is Enryu? One more swing from downtown. Simultaneously, bottom lane, Palace needs some assistance. He's gonna find it.
Still alive.
Shadow Dance keeps him healthy. Now they might look to turn, but it's just the Ogre and Slark combined together, the duo. But this is just giving them space to put a lot of emphasis on the T1 tower middle lane as Dragonite has his Elder Dragon form popped, and it's gonna be the second tower of the game. So Neon, took them a while to get mid, but they should end up finding it. Might cost the life of Hustler as Bob's got the Laguna Blade in the arsenal. He's actually still alive on Hustler. Nice play with the stick charge and the Ravage to fly afterwards. It gets the clips on all three heroes. Unfortunately, the Dragon Tail is still having a little bit of a cooldown here, so Bob is able to fly out to safety. Tino as well. Is he going to burn out here to the poison? It's ticking him low, ticking him low. The main guy is looking for a cookie distance. Can he get in range for the breathe fire? No.
You're still very happy with that, right? And a little bit odd that they continued this commitment onto the Slark on the bot lane, right? You just need to be so perfect with your lockdown connection. He was able to get off the Shadow Dance, keep playing underneath his tower, and also dropping the Arena of Blood. Kind of surprising that they didn't look to rotate at least one hero back to stop a lot of this aggression in onto Marb. Did they take any of those creeps there?
No, I think they just came a little bit too late. UK. Poor old guy. Yeah, when I swung on over, it looked like Marb had already taken a majority of the stack, but I mean, the thing about the Medusa is you don't want to lose your towers early. Like, you need as much time as possible to protect yourself around the triangle, and now with tier 1 top and mid down, this will give a lot of opportunity for Neon to infiltrate into the jungle. As Palos looking for Sorrow Killer, but this is more just putting attention on a different side of the map. But nice awareness from Bob.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
I wanted that blink reveal from a main dive, but unfortunately you won't find the proper connection.
Even popping the Elder Dragon form as well, and I'm not sure if he's going to get great value out of this. The creep wave not pushed in towards the tower. It's not like you have splash damage and are able to quickly take the enemy jungle as well. So a bit of a wasted timing coming through here from a Mangdia's DK. It's certainly not something that... it doesn't feel like, this is a Mangdia hero for sure. So I think, again...
I think it's okay that he uses it though. Like, you've taken tier 1 top and mid. What other objective are you going to get with the Elder Dragon form? Like,
at least pressure the top tower, right? You just saw, even though he's got the boots of travel, Bob had TP just down towards the bottom side to secure that, and it feels like that's where the majority of the damage is coming from right now. So if the lane was pushed out a little bit further than where the Observer Ward is on the top side, you would have at the very minimum forced out a glyph, which means that next Elder Dragon form, which will kind of synergize well with the Diffusal Blade timing, could be a lot more map control for your team.
With this timing on Palace, it's going to be very difficult now for Execration to fight into. I mean, you got Ravage back up and available. And, I mean, you do have the blink reveal from Tino.
Can't win a war without money.
But, I mean, we're going to see the involvement of the position 1 on Neon. But then you contrast the position 1 of Execration, and Medusa can't really get involved at the moment. So, this could be a bit of a scary timing here. Even though Radiant have a very minimal net worth lead.
Good positioning by RR as well, just staying between the Medusa and the rest of the team. They've got good vision as well, so they can see where a lot of these rotations are going. I wonder if they might even look to opt for a smoke here with the 4 heroes on Neon. They do. Maybe just staying a little bit too long there as Mark, but again...
Tino's nearby. Tino, what are you doing in the neck of the woods? It's not
sure when you've got the Observer Ward kind of giving a lot of that vision of where they might be. They're just going to continue pushing on forward. There is a double stack here, so that's a nice little bonus if they were able to pick that one up. But you could also just look to transition it into mid, although Hustler's getting picked.
The main guy instantly jumped to save. Trying to start the fight on the Snapfire. They've done a lot of damage so far, but out to safety. No, Enryu drops the Ravage. Clipping all 4 heroes, but they've only really been able to get 1 kill out of it.
Neutralizing the Clockwork. The kisses down if they wanted to use them. Like, no Clockwork, no hook shot. It would need to be the perfect Blink, Spear, Arena combo coming through from Tino.
And let's see if they can still stick their ground. Main guy's going to look to jump. They want to get rid of the Shadow Demon with the ease. They will. Now Marbs turns his attention to the Slark. The help of Tino's initiation's perfect. Arena drop, locking the Dragonite, so they turn to stone. As Marb and Co find a double at their triangle, holding formation and holding map control.
All right, well, that's going to be a big piece of news for Marb coming through there, able to be part of all of that. Again, he does die the one more time, but I think it's totally worth it if you're able to turn around. Now he's level 13, highest level in the game. Bob's having an insane time on this Lina, just being able to have that great map presence to dodge out a lot of these key engagements. And, well, he's basically finished up his BKB as well, 17 minutes in. So until you get that Blink Dagger on Enryu, he is close. So you're going to need to be picture perfect with a lot of these positionings. BDZ should be dead here.
Oh, Bob's coming in.
Bob's coming. He's got that
BKB as well,
BKB.
keep in mind. So this could be difficult for how long they want to stick around. Once again, trying to focus down the Shadow Demon with the backline. Tino's also dealing with the main Dire. So a lot of their counter initiation, but it will give enough opportunity. Now Bob, a defensive BKB, but is out to safety. The wings of the tree line. Trying to find the angle. They haven't found it just yet with Slark attempting the backstab. But I mean, you got to be so happy. Like you just brought up, that's an early BKB timing, and Bob kind of just wasting it. Oh, okay, well, he gets a kill. Not sure what Hustler's doing. And who they caught now as well. So a support trade. Palos, I believe, picked up some more essence there. So it's up to 4 now.
It's all right. Again, I'm not a fan of this this UK, what he's got queued up here. There's a position 5. Come on, man.
I mean, keep in mind, we saw a lot of UK Ogre at Army Geniuses, and I remember there was one interview where we're like, you know, do you get bored of playing the Ogre? Like, it feels like, you know, you must at least know kind of the item build, and whenever you want to go for it, he's like, you know, I always go defensive items, but I really want Midas, and apparently feels like, you know, that's the game for it.
It still feels like a Vessel game to me. Like, what do you have in the form of, like, save? You got the disruption, sure, but that doesn't actually get rid of the Spirit Vessel. So if you're able to get that onto the Deucer after she Manta Styles, before she BKBs, then I think you're very, very happy. And it just provides you with that little bit of extra mana regen, that little bit of extra damage even that you might need to be able to take control of some of these other areas of the team fight. Like, imagine if you get the earn on to Tino, right? He can't blink. He can't look to continue to connect through the rest of his team without popping the BKB.
Tino, what are you doing down here, my guy? Or who have they caught? What's going on right now? Once again, it's always the one in the front line, but this time it's actually out to safety with a beautiful hook shot. You see how aggressive Neon are looking to play. Like, as soon as they found this timing a while ago, with the defusal.
Yeah, they do. No hook shot, so a lot of it is on Tino to be able to start out these key engagements. They might even look to connect through to Bob, or actually Bob will connect through to them. As they're making the rotation through, nothing for them to... Oh, Palos showing on the top side. This could be really what they're looking for as the pings start to happen, although Tino's moving away from the rest of the team. Okay, I feel like that's a bit of an opportunity missed to maybe catch out a high priority target. As
I think they know where they are. The pings are coming through. Palos gonna lead. Enryu as well. He's got the Ravage to the ready. He's trying to find the perfect angle. They once again just get a free pick off to start the fight. And now Execration need to find a formation. A Ravage will not give them the opportunity to retreat his way as Marb's completely lost all his mana. Now they can solely focus down the Medusa. Bob, he just has to evade the area and give up the life of Marb. Do they rush now after this? 3 points gosh. They got Solar Crest along with Lil Shredder. So, I mean, another fight going in the favor of Neon. It just feels like they can overwhelm them.
It does, and it's off the back of, you know, some poor positioning, I have to say, coming through from Execration. You know, they saw the TP come through from the Slark. They had the rotation through with the smoke. You had Lina connecting in, and for whatever reason, Tino just wants to go mid. I guess he wanted to try and finish up his BKB, but I feel like when you've got that potential with the blink instant stun onto the Slark, you take it every single time.
Radiant's bottom tower
Especially considering how well Palos is doing here. I don't think we've given enough emphasis towards Enryu's net worth. He is top of the net worth right now on this Tidehunter, and we know he likes to build this more aggressive style. He's going into the Desolator next just to assist with a lot of their tower push, and honestly, I like it. You know, you've got a Dragon Knight that can take advantage of it. You go further into the minus armor strat, you know, Gush, Little Shredder, and even once you pick up that Aghanim Shard, maybe they're looking to play around the second Roche to absolutely confirm it, but I'd absolutely be giving it over to Enryu. Yeah, maybe Palos, but still looking very strong for Neon right now.
I mean, Dire just have not a lot of armor to play with. You've got one Agi hero in the Medusa. everyone else is very, very low on armor, and quite often, Mars cannot really go into something like an AC unless he's having an exceptional game. Shivas as well can sometimes be lacking, and I mean, you've got to be recognizing that Tino is not having the greatest game anyway, so this is going to be a big issue here for Execration with how they can sustain the physical damage, and they're actually just going to look to defend bot. They want to give absolutely no inch to Execration. Now, they don't have the Ravage, keep in mind. They're starting the fight well and truly well on top of Meng Dai with the BKB, but he's not out to safety. He's Bob on the backline, just raining in the right click. So a 1-for-1 to start. But it looks like Palos should be able to clean up BDZ. More essence for the Slark.
More essence for the Slark. It's another Elder Dragon form that doesn't really go off as planned. BKB was also popped there by Meng Dai. It was a good use of the Demonic Purge to make sure that he was in position so that Bob could just continue to right-click him down, but it was not a great fortification on the top side of the map by Execration. They didn't even take out the catapult wave, which meant that they were able to continue pushing forward. That's a tier 2 loss now. They didn't have the time to take away the outpost because of needing to join the rest of the team on the bottom side of the map, but still very happy with being able to take that objective.
They saw
Palace
Tino, I think.
I think you could just keep going with Palace, right? Like, he's just backdooring. This is a tier 1 tower. They don't have glyph.
They want to keep it alive. Tino's going to backstab them. They're probably not aware of the Mars's positioning.
You can't do it without Bob. And, I mean, he's low-ish on mana.
And the one fight that goes okay for Execration is when they didn't have Ravage, but now it's back up. So it's something you've really got to keep in mind if you're Dire. And they're even setting up for Bob.
Yeah.
And he's got BKB, Shadowblade as well. Might not even have to force too many big abilities. Should just run himself away. But they've now all shown top, so Palace is going to be cautious. A hook shot to land. They're actually just going to turn it back around. Tino as well, but instantly the Shadow Dance. Beautiful timing, as Palace will give no opportunity for Execration to penalize Slark.
And that was Enryu with his Desolator freshly picked up, just absolutely annihilating this Clockwork. Very tanky hero, but if your Anchor Smash is doing 500 damage, you're very happy with it.
Tino's going to make another jump, but the rest of the team's nowhere to be seen. Another wasted BKB usage. So it really feels like Execration are not on the same page this game. This is multiple times we've seen now, just where people are going in one by one, or when all the other heroes are just trying to retreat and reposition themselves.
Tino does have to be careful as well. He moves off into the trees as he's continuously trying to keep this lane pushed out. Again, I've talked about in past games as well how this tier 1 tower, or the tower next to the Ancients, is very important in some games and not so much in others. They've lost out a lot of their own jungle control. This is basically... They want it to be the one safe haven where Medusa can continue to farm. But Neon, they're just looking to consistently play around it, forcing him into his own jungle, not quite as efficient, even looking to take away the enemy.
And Bob, can he just BKB TPR? They don't have a cancel, so yeah, he's going to go for that. I mean, again, like, this was a very early BKB, and I feel like the Lena's gotten absolutely nothing out of it.
And Palace had nothing queued up in the quick buy before that. As soon as that BKB TP out happens, queues up the Basher.
And Ryu. Run into BDZ. Bob's going to be cautious too. Used the BKB previously. If they get the one initial stun, they might just be able to overlap the follow-up afterwards. Bob's going through the trees. We'll kill off RR though. I mean, you see how afraid they are right now in Execration. They're going in, not together, forcing a BKB, and then they can't team fight when they want to.
I think they're trying to force, like, a little bit of a too deep dive to come through from Neon. It doesn't feel like it can happen. I mean, actually, the Aegis is wearing out in a few seconds, but what are they going to be able to pick up in return for this? Bob has to be careful. No BKB available.
Oh, you gotta hold detection.
Hustler's got it, but he goes to the wrong side. Well, Basher completed. Will we see the dust come out for Slark? I feel like it's a pretty value thing to be able to carry here.
Again, just infiltrating the triangle. I mean, Mob's only got R at the moment. I don't know how much that's gonna be a factor here. Cog's pushed away. Did you just smoke up? Stone Gaze on cooldown? I mean, you did trade Mortimer Kisses, I suppose. I
don't even think you need to smoke. I think you can just run at them, right? You've got the Elder Dragon form. Not yet level 18. Maybe they might want to wait for that. With Meng Dai, he's getting, again, close to that Aghanim Scepter third item like we were expecting. And it's just going to enable him so much in a lot of these engagements.
Well, I know you're a fan of the Tide Shard, which he has actually completed on Enryu. So I wonder, because I feel like they're in a position where they're going to take next Roche. Like, unless they lose a fight really, really bad, I think you would be like, all right, we're going to get next Roche, but if I'm not the one getting the Ag Shard, who is then?
I mean, I feel like there's 4 good heroes on Neon for it. Basically, only the Dragon Knight I could see not having a really valuable Ag Shard this game. Even just the Ogre Magi, right? The Fire Shield, combine that against someone like the Lina that can start really beefing up her right clicks now that she's gone into the Silver Edge. Dusa does a lot of big damage. It's not like a lot of little instances. So Fire Shield could be quite good. The stun on the Scatter Blast also good. And Depth Shroud just allows Palace to play this diving style role.
Very nicely done from Palace, just waiting to pounce to the last second. Now, once again, they're on top of Mob. Stone Gaze still on cooldown for a couple of seconds, but BDZ standing the wings to try and keep Mob alive, but they're diving deeper and deeper, starting to control all of the Execration territory, but Tino jumps. A beautiful arena onto multiple heroes have been able to burst through Palace as well with the help of Bob, and now Enryu, a very defensive use of the Ravage, and Enryu is going to make sure he knows of this. The aggressive tip, one more blink. Ooh, and Ryu, he's out. I think
I'm a little confused as to why he didn't Ravage earlier, right? I can understand that he was waiting for the Shadow Demon to use the Disruption so it wasn't wasted, but the Disruption was used. Medusa doesn't have BKB, and you were right on top of her, so it's very unlikely that you're going to be able to Manta dodge it. So, I mean, just not wanting to instantly get it on top of her and try and burst her down. You know, you have this Slark, you've got the Diffusal Blade, you've got the damage to come through with the Desolator. Feels like a bit of a missed opportunity. Not sure what Kuro is doing next to the Radiant Tower. Alright.
Yeah, we've been...
Just a bit of a peace offering for all the trash talk that was happening.
I mean, BKB TPR. There's just been so much action where Neon have been very relentless with their positioning across the map. We haven't really gotten an opportunity really to speak about how Medusa's like still top of the network. Barb is still farming very, very well. Level 20 now. And bursting her is not going to get too easy. Now, Radiant, maybe they don't mind though, because you've got a Slark, and quite often we see Slarks really thrive in these long drawn out fights, but it is going to be difficult. I think Radiant need to switch up their prioritization on who they're jumping.
Well, now it's just so much harder to kill the Dusa, right? Previously, I could understand wanting to full-on commit for her. I'm not even going into the BKB yet. I'm a little surprised at that, but now she's level 20, right? She's got that extra Mystic Snake mana gain. You've got the Skadi, so you're just so much tankier, so much more able to take these extended team fights, and that's exactly what the Lina wants. I mean, the big point, though, is that you need to make sure you're taking out the Slark, because he's another one of those heroes that just gets stronger and stronger.
This could be the turning point.
Could.
Yeah, they know Roche is up, and you do not have Ravage for the fight, so great awareness, Neon. They're just like, all right, let's not force anything here. We don't want to give a window for Dire, because they do have far superior late game conditions in Alina and Adusa.
Yeah, and they're doing the safe thing, right? They're taking away the outpost, a lot of that buyback, rejoin the fight potential if the engagement were to break out again.
They're going to smoke behind Mob. They're well aware of the positioning, leading the charge. They got to deal with the backline. BDZ needs to be the target. Tino as well, so they're targeting some of the Mars. But keep in mind, Medusa's just dealing with my main Dire at the moment. They'll force out an early BKB. Clockworker's way. They're looking to just kite and reset as best as possible, but this is given an opportunity for the Ravage to come back up and available. An early Stone Gaze or Roche. It's a 6-man here. Mob still, only one bash. Enrique, can he get the vision to cancel the TP? Too late, but now the rest of the team, are they out to safety? Bob still standing his ground along with Tino, but they're going to be cautious. Bobby can BKB, but he can't TP out. Palace has already got one bash, and he needs a secondary one afterwards. But Bob's so mobile. At least they've wasted their BKB, but Silver's Edge is back up. Palace going to get the vision on the high ground at least, and now DK can jump over the top of the tree line. So down goes Bob, a big killing streak to find, and maybe that is now the opening you need to lead into Roche.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
wait, they see Tino too.
Well, I think that might be a little bit greedy. Just take the Roche, you know, or at least threaten it.
What, will you get the kill? 100%. Why not just get a freebie like that? Now you go into Roche. You're happy in it. Well and truly.
They're looking for more and more. They're just trying to distract away from this Roshan as much as possible. They realize how important it is for Execration to maybe have that turnaround potential. They went for the kill onto the clockwork, and they're like, you know what? We'll look to back off here. I don't think they want to buy back onto the Mars. It'll be way too slow for them to rejoin, considering they did lose that outpost control. Are also only level 11, so I don't think he even has the range to get in position for a good hook shot, but he might look to try.
Who gets a shard? It's Palos? Yeah, Palos picks it up. Depth Shroud now available.
He just wants to try and get these BKB usages out from Execration and then have 2 ways to be able to have, well, now 3 technically, now he's got the Aegis as well. So it can be really effective also against all these BKBs. He's recognizing how annoying it is to start to kite around a few of them. You know, they caught out Bob. It took perhaps a little longer than they were hoping to be able to catch him out. So he's going this, well, he was going the Skadi instead, so that it would still pierce that that spell immunity. Switching it up into the Lincolns. What's your opinion on that? I know you're not a huge fan of Lincolns.
I think he's worried about the break on the Shadow Demon, because this is what I was just going to bring up, that BDC's got Ags. That thought, UK? No. This is a huge item for this game, I think, on BDC. So, lead in once again. Memain Dai is actually going to backstab them here. That's a perfect target to be able to start the fight. They need the extra
Big
damage
dragon.
now with the stun lock as well. A Ravage onto 3, nets them both the supports. And Neon's going to look to push them further and further back, but a defensive Stone Gaze is he out to safety? No, Hustler! A huge TP cancel. Now Marby needs some assistance. It looks like he's not going to get anything. Surround the Dusa, stun lock to perfection by Marb.
I feel like we're seeing a lot of this sorry chat wheel coming out from Marv. It's happened a few times now, you know, twice with his positioning with the TP out, that being one of them, and another one where prior to that engagement around the first rush, I believe, he had his courier killed that had the ultimate orb on it. So he didn't have his Manta style. He wasn't able to tank through that first wave of spells with that dispel, and yeah, put himself in a really crappy position. So unfortunately, even though he's done a good job with being able to get a lot of this farm, it just hasn't really translated into anything.
Go top. Yeah, so Ag shot on Tide. You can push pretty goddamn fast. They don't have creeps, unfortunately, though, so that will be the deterring factor of Neon sticking around inside the base.
Yep. Bob and Tino doing a good job of cutting these waves, making sure they're not able to get that kill, although have to be careful about how long you do look to hang around. Look at Hustler, he's even going into the BKB. He wants absolutely no way for them to be able to disrupt his Mortimer's Kisses. Right now, the only way to really do it would be the Stone Gaze, and I don't think he's going to be using it too close to the Deucer.
Palos is very disconnected from the team. Yeah, maybe he doesn't care. There's a
Again,
very good
3
chance.
lines.
Yeah.
This is the thing that LGD basically did. Like, not that they picked the Slark, but they just picked these things that allowed them to, like, break the game in terms of damage, right? Bloodlust, Solar Crest, Little Shredder, just ways to deal out so much more damage than you might be expecting on the enemy team, and Palos is the lucky recipient of a lot of it.
They don't have Ravage if they want to try and make the jump. I do not have everyone at the moment, so Palos once again leading the charge, trying to find the angle in. They really want BDZ, and you see the importance. Memain Dai trying to find the start. They're so deep at the moment of the T4 tower, but it looks like it doesn't even matter. Your home, now my home. An incredible arena from Tino. This is where Marb and Bob can do the work. So they also have the double damage rune on the Lina in the arsenal. They'll push them back, so Enryu, along with UK dropping. There's a buyback here from BDZ nonetheless.
Okay, I mean, it's... could have been worse for both teams. By the time they're back up, they'll have their ultimates available again, but now no buyback on BDZ, which is so incredibly important. I thought maybe he would try and spam out a few of those demonic purges just before he dropped down. He had the Aghanim Shard queued up for the longest time, which I don't hate. You know, it's one of those things that might enable Marb to just stand there and teamfight, not have to worry too much about the crowd control on top of him, considering he still hasn't opted to go into a BKB. He's going the Hurricane Pike next to try and break the Slark Pounce and just create that little bit of extra space in these team fights. Slot efficiency, very important.
I don't hate the Egg Shot either on the Shadow Demon. I think the Blink just probably gives you a little bit more for what they need at the moment in this game. Like, I think Shadow Demon, he's not getting... You bought an Aghanim Scepter, 4,200 gold, but you're not getting value out of your purges right now, which
I
Break...
think they've used it once.
Yeah, exactly. Like, Break versus all 3 heroes, all 3 cores on Neon is just... could be fight-changing, honestly. So...
What about against the Ogre, though? Getting rid of that multicast?
Oh, I mean, UK's, getting the levels, 19. Massive
That might have
Piders.
just paying off. I hate it. I hate that it's working. This should not be the way that you
honestly,
go. He's going
though,
into the hex.
we just spoke about that. I mean, you just brought out the fact that how LGD played around with this, broken mechanics where you just try and buff up your cores as much as possible. Ogre getting levels and then getting that level 20 plus 25 blood loss attack speed, that is going to be another big factor on how these fights could favor them.
Yeah, for sure. He's even looking to walk up to the next wave. All right, so he's level 19. What multicast is he going to get on this Midas on the lane? Or is he going to die?
Ooh.
Predictions. Quick.
2.
I'm going to 3.
Oh, you're wrong.
You're going the one with the highest probability and then acting all smug about it.
You're wrong. Doesn't matter. Just truly hate to see it, huh?
Mm-hmm. Well, they've got a Lincoln's on Lena as well. Clearly not wanting to avoid the flavor of the month. But it's not fantastic. I mean, it's good against the Dragon Knight, sure. Like, to stop that initial stun. But it's not like, you have Ignite. You've got the Gush as well. You've got the Fire Blast. Plenty of things that can actually get rid of your quite expensive item. Do they even have a Fey Grenade? I think they do on Neon's side. Yeah, so if they wanted to just hold that purely as a Lincoln's popper, they could.
Tino, I think, has Refresher completed, although he's got 2k gold in the bank as well, so somehow has a lot of gold. Oh yeah, that's Refresher coming out.
Well.
So we'll see how this double arena, so double BKB can come into play. We did see previously an opportunity for them to take that last fight when Radiant dived deep arena to lock them in just to enable Deucer and Lena to start to go to work. They've got a lot of damage, but they don't want to be ran down. You want to be the one standing your ground and just chucking out these right clicks. So arena will definitely give them this opportunity.
Yeah, for sure. And we've seen how effective that arena is. The Refresher arena, just to be able to, bait out those initial BKBs. Palace as well. He's going all in here a little bit. He's got the Skadi picked up in 10 gold, but that'll leave him without buyback. So this is the sort of play where, of course, it is kind of like the closer, let's call it, where you've just got an insane amount of damage to be able to burst through, but it is the sort of thing where if you're able to get the perfect arena, the perfect combination, Marb is finally able to sit there and do some damage rather than be on the run. And I feel like Bob, his involvement in these team fights has been pretty good so far. He's what, 7, 1, and 2? So it's looking pretty good for his positioning, at least, on the Lena. He's level 25 as well, so he's got that extra attack range that he'll need to maybe even dodge out the likes of the Ravage.
Palos leading up onto the high ground here. The rest of the team smoke behind him. They need some vision up there. Trying to enable Enryu's jump. Trying to get that with the illusion.
Got to keep the bloodlust on Palace as well. If you catch someone out, they got to die instantly. And, they do.
I want to know the condition here for Execration. Who do they need to jump? What's the priority in these fights?
Execration need to kill Hustler, in my eyes. I feel like he's just an integral component of their draft. He's buffing up the Slark constantly with the Solar Crest. One of his kisses is now level 20. So he can just do way too much. And he doesn't have really any saving items other than the Flicker. But if you're able to do damage to him, it's not like he can get out of a cogs or anything like that. Especially if you've got the chain lockdown.
They have to connect with Palos pretty fast.
Has been denied.
Maybe RR. Alright, he's out. Once again, another defensive hook shot. I mean, we might have a bit of a long stall in this game. Roshan's up in the next 2 minutes 30.
It's a long one.
Yeah. It is third Rosh of the game, though, so either the Scepter or the Shard available. I mean, honestly, either would be great for Radiant.
Easy, able to get that blink, so he just wants to play incredibly defensively with his positioning. If he gets caught out, there's not really much of an excuse now. He's got the Aether Lens. He will probably have the Trickster Cloak put into his inventory. And looking to buy up that Tome of Knowledge, just for a little bit of extra control here.
I mean, here's priority number 1. You just have to kill the Shadow Demon. It does not matter. Like, either Shadow Demon or probably the Mars, with how he can control a lot of the fights.
I would even, ignore the Mars, right? It's got to be Shadow Demon because he doesn't have buyback, right? You know that that's going to guarantee at least a one-man advantage fight.
I think after you jump the Shadow Demon, would you then target the Mars afterwards? That's how I'm looking at it. I feel like Arena's just way too valuable and how Execration need to play this, because Radiant are very heavy committal. Like, you blink, drop Ravage, Slark's in the middle, Dragonite as well, but if you lock off like some escape avenue with all your, you know, kind of area control, Cogs, Arena, and, you know, maybe even Purge as well if he's still up, but I think that's how Execration can take the fight.
Potentially, right? But you also have to consider, like, Tino, his positioning has been okay on the Mars, but he has shown that he has incredible positioning if you give him the opportunity for it. So I feel like if you're going in onto the Shadow Demon, he's going to be playing in the general vicinity, so you can at least get off that arena. You're not going to be able to just seamlessly transition through onto the Mars and take him out. And they're moving forward here on Marb. I kind of hate this.
Oh, they're actually going in.
Forward. I don't like this at all. Marb is so close to level 25. Why would you not want to just sit back, split up a little bit to give him all of the experience that he needs? Because you got a Skadi. You want that attack modifier.
Yeah, I think they were just trying to hold the DD that was in the river. Like, both teams, as soon as they saw it, they just beeline to it instantly. So it's the only thing I can think of at the moment. I mean, Palace is hit level 25, so plus 55 essence shift duration. Lena as well, it's got that attack range, but like you were saying, Marb really close, along with Memeng Dai is about about 2/3 through 24.
They're just soaking up his experience right now. Like, I know it's important that you can't just get picked off on your own, but stay, like, just out of experience range, you know?
Well, I mean, if he doesn't have 25 for this fight,
well,
see how important that's going to be. Hustle to start. They get the initial stun. They're actually going to look to jump the Lena, but once again, BDZ, they didn't deal with the Shadow Demon to Bob, and able to pop the BKB. Another look to turn. They'll try and get the break on top of the Dragonite, but the Arena controlling the fight. Second Arena round. Palace, what can he do? It's stuck inside the Venn diagram. He's in trouble here. He's used all the defensive factors, and Marv finally starting to dish out the damage. They don't deal with the Shadow Demon, and they'll be penalized for it. 2 claws gone. Hustler on the retreat. I mean, it's got some heroes in the weak. They're going to look to buy back. This is a costly fight. They have committed on Execration. You're kind of locked into the river, but Palace, he can't join them. He didn't TP. Oh no, you have to get this Roche now.
You have to, and it feels a little bit awkward, right? No Ravage, no Elder Dragon form as well for the next 30 seconds.
This is a game right on the lines right here. Game 1. Dai can find the vision with the flare, but how do you get the start? Both teams don't have their ultimates.
Alright, he's going for a little bit of a backstab of his own. He'll get rid of a lot of the vision that they need. He was so good in that previous team fight. His hookshot, counter initiation, locked down 2 heroes.
You need a Bloodlust Palos too. He needs the amplification.
They're trying to get RR.
Yeah, I like this. Just start stacking up the essence as best possible. That's a dieback too. All right, what have we got? Arena up shortly. 5 seconds. Ravage still long cooldown. Do you want to kind of get in and out if you're Radiant? Still as much essence and then kite the BKB. It's an early usage here from Marb. They'll get connection straight away, but they aren't able to deal with Palace. Keep in mind, both these heroes bought back previously. The break. Memeng Dai needs some assistance. He's going to get it. A beautiful depth shard. Palace has stacked up a decent amount.
Bob's out of mana as well. Like, you can't keep these fiery souls going. Yeah, he's gonna walk on back. I was feeling a little bit concerned, considering again they didn't get to go on BDZ, but well, now at least he's got his buyback available again. He can look to play somewhat more aggressively, you know, getting some good uses out of the Demonic Purge, but I'm sure they're breathing a huge sigh of relief now on Neon with being able to pick up that Aegis of Immortality. What was it that ended up dropping as the 3rd item? A shard for the Tide Hunter. Yep.
This gives you some wiggle room now. Like, I was like, hang on, you just bought back on DK and Slark. That's a costly goddamn fight, but Neon, all things considering. Oh, they scanned Tino. Uh-oh. He's still nearby, Tino. Oh, he's got buyback at least.
Oh, double spear, nice.
Blinks up in a couple seconds, Tino. Oh my god, what a spear.
What a man. Alright. Wonder what Slark's gonna go next. Is it gonna be that BKB just to allow him to stand and fight? I feel like he's a little worried still about the Demonic Purge, looking to take him out a lot of these engagements. Can't be dispelled by the Dark Pact. So
he might have Bissell just because he's pretty slot dependent right now.
Mm-hmm. That's the only other thing that I can really think of is that. Plus, do they have like a spider legs on their team or anything like that so that he can eventually get rid of the boots?
Yes,
They
Tide's
do.
got it.
Yeah, so I think that would probably be the next best thing to look to do is, you know, just build that Abyssal for, again, the slot efficiency. He's going the BKB, though. Maybe just holding it in his backpack for a second life as well. Kill UK.
Gonna look to try and start to get some vision down as well. It's only 2 heroes from Radiant. The main guy's got the cheese in the backpack.
Radiant's courier
Very
has
early
been
usage of the BKB will get him out to safety. And Execration,
Radiant's top
with this
tower
pick
is
off
under
previously, they might look to try and put some pressure on the tower. Just easing some of the map control that they've
Radiant's
lost
structures
previously.
are fortified.
They've been glyphed on Radiant. This is signaling out they want to try and defend the tower, but instantly Tino's going to look to jump. Refresher as well, but the Ravage, it needs to be perfect from Enryu. Second Ravage as well, but there's no extra damage on the backline until Enryu's Anchor Smash will kill off BDZ. And now Palace has a free fight. He doesn't have to worry about the disruption. He can lock onto his heroes. Bob, Mob, standing hand in hand. You're going to hope the Medusa can do it all. They've been able to kill off the Tide. Palace still, meanwhile, is just starting to suck up the essence. Locked on top of Bob. There's no assistance. They're kiting Mob. The sole hero left on Execration. He needs to be the raid boss. He needs the 4v1, but he won't do neither.
Enryu, MVP of that fight easily. Just making sure he knew where the Shadow Demon was, and they had no way of knowing that, right? No vision in that Tinker Ward area. That is just where a Shadow Demon is going to be. Realizing that, using the initial Ravage to be able to catch him out, the burst damage coming through, that Desolator coming in handy to be able to quickly take him out of the engagement. And they're going to try and use, see if there's any buybacks available right now. Alice instantly having to retreat.
And now both teams position 1s and 2s not having buyback.
I don't know about continuing this commitment.
The main guy will provide some assistance flying over the top. And Slark is so tanky. Scotty ages BKB in the backpack as well. Tino, great arena. Bob and Mob on top of the outskirts. Oh no.
You hate to see it. I mean, you can understand why the lag might be coming through. There's about 50 different spells going on at the same time. Oh, you hate to see the timing of it, though. All right, so gives us time, though. You know, we can actually look and understand what's going on in these crazy
we might not have much time.
BKB's coming back up in 3 seconds for Mob. I think that's the key thing right now. And
DK's in trouble, too.
Mid-cast right now on Tino. I mean, if they can kill him, that's no buyback.
I don't know where he's... I want to see where he's... I don't want to risk it. All right, let's see.
Tino...
Yeah, broken on DK as well. And like you said...
DK's the target, 100%.
I mean, maybe Hustler can jump the back. He's got the blink. They need to try and disrupt Lena, but what a spear once again. It doesn't find my main guy, but Laguna Blade, but main guy is still alive somehow. Out the safety, thanks to Hustler's positioning. Now the Slark as well. Look at the damage. 62 stolen essence. But a dieback on the Dragon Knight. Keep in mind, a heavy commitment from Execration throughout the team fight. They've been able to kill off a third. Now Palace is going to be cautious. He's going to look to seek over the retreat. But they've lost 4, and all those heroes don't have buyback.
Under attack.
Yeah. I feel like, again, last team fight, MVP was Enryu, and you just look to take a fight without him. You know, it seems very odd, especially when you knew they'd buy back, right? Like, that was their win condition, completely secured. If they just back up, get their next, few items, wait for Enryu to respawn, they won the previous engagement, right? So you don't need to close out the game just yet. Instead, puts them on a little bit of a back foot here. It's going to be just Palos and Enryu that are looking to make any kind of defense happen.
I want Slark to cut this wave. You got Shadow Dance. Wait, are they coming in? He's still got 62 essence. My dude hits really hard and really fast.
30 seconds on the Aegis as
gonna
well.
Jump. They haven't found Enryu just yet. He's going to look to reveal himself now with a beautiful Ravage. They've locked on top of Bob. Look at the damage. A dieback on Lena. Payback in the tips as well. And he gets the bash powers. You lucky, lucky man.
Oh, crazy that they would go for that sort of engagement, but ends up paying off for them with a few lucky bashes. Again, though, it's Enryu, right? Getting that blink right on top of the Lena, making sure Bob doesn't have the reaction time to be able to use that BKB. It's instant, right? Like, you can't fault him for that. Maybe you might think, yeah, it's coming, but unlucky as well that they weren't able to spot out the positioning there with the Mars just juking through the trees. They were next to each other, but they just didn't realize it. Hustler, yeah, he's just going to TP and join through the top outpost, not needing to buy the bits of travel.
Oh no, so gets the tree. There's got to be one crazy hold. Lift is up and available. They've already used 2 purges now from BDZ.
I think they're happy with just delaying it, but I don't know if they'll be able to delay it for a full minute. Another smoke coming out
No,
here.
they won't. I mean, even Hustler's got a goddamn Desolator with the multi-shot. He's level 25. Palace, I mean, they know there's no buybacks. You can just play so aggressive now, up in the face. Tino's going to look to jump on Hustler. He's done a solid job at locking the Snapfire. Pops a refresher for a secondary use, but Palace, great timing on the Dark Pack. He'll at least be able to hold his life still. No one has fallen on Radiant, and there we go. Neon take game 1 as Execration have to call it quits with a base dropping.
Let's go playoff Dota. You know, that's the sort of stuff that we want. Nail-biting action from start to finish. It always felt like it was a little bit in Neon's favor, but, you know, a couple of team fights was all it really needed, especially that weird decision to go without buyback and, you know, end up losing a few heroes, give them that window that they needed. But what a clutch play by Enryu. Clear MVP for mine. Able to, like, 15, 3 and 15 on a Tide Hunter, highest net worth for a good portion of the game. I think for the first, 20 minutes? Yeah, he was the highest net worth, and he was the highest impact for the entire game for me.
Yeah, without a doubt. And it feels like, you know, this is a big reason why we're seeing the Tide. Like, this hero is just crazy goddamn strong right now. He's doing everything we saw through the groups. We're seeing through the playoffs now. This is your first pick. I mean, this is your first pick on Enryu. They didn't really identify a big way to deal with him. I think if you're going to let the Tide through, you've got to do something. But, man, for Neon, late game Dota, we said it in the draft. We said it a lot through that game as well. Neon have built a way to enable Palos and enable Mamang Dai. You have a lot of minus armor coming through your items and, of course, your abilities. And then you have this Solar Crest plus Bloodlust just to enable someone. And you take a look at Execration, your Mob's not getting that assistance. He's not getting anything. Bob's not either. Like, Bob had an exceptional game, but where is the steroid? You need it in this late game Dota kind of meta we're in.
It did feel like as well, Mamang Dai, he realized that he didn't have the greatest laning stage. He realized that the first few Elder Dragon forms weren't ideal. So I think he changed up his role a little bit. I'm not sure if it was always the plan or if it was like a spot call to be able to say, all right, Enryu, my game's going like crap. I'm just going to be like effectively the Tide Hunter for the team and stand it on the front lines, build super tanky. He went the Halberd, he went the Aghanim Scepter, BKB, AC, and have a look at the damage at the end of the game. He did less damage than Hustler on Mamang Dai. So he just wanted to stand there on the front lines, tank up a lot of the aggression, and then enables heroes like Enryu and Hustler to have the games that they needed to push it across the line for Neon.
I think this sets up so well for a game 2, though. Like, a back and forth game, like you said, it really felt through a lot of that, though, that Neon had the edge, but Execration shows some signs of life. You know, Tino as well. Like we were saying, it won 5 and 15 at the end, but those arenas, a lot of the late game fights was a big reason of why they could actually find kills and enable the Deucer and the Lina. So I really want to pay attention to how these off lanes are set up, because Enryu was such a huge X factor, and I think when Tino was able to find arenas at the late stage, it was a big reason why Execration could have some opportunity to come back. So, you know, this sets us up for a beautiful game too. I mean, it was very even through all of this game. You're one game away though from elimination, and you don't want to be that first team out from the playoffs. I know we've already said goodbye from Omega through the group stages, but they want a bit of a run through this new roster and Execration. We'll see if they can make that run though. One game away of potential elimination, or if they can force it to a game 3 against Neon. Find out shortly.